Hey, everybody, welcome back to PMS, the Perpetual Motion Squad, a Big Bang Theory fan and podcast.
I was waiting
And
to see how long your breath was going to hold out for. That was impressive.
thank you. And we are your hosts, Big Bang Theory super fans, Kat.
And Paul, and welcome to everybody in YouTube land for watching that and podcast. And Pikachu does his inaugural video thing. Yes, we are back for another episode. But before we doing this whole thing, we have a wonderfully important, incredible, amazing announcement. And in saying that, I am now going to shut up and let Kat
There's an achievement in
yep, it's an
itself.
achievement in itself. I'm going to shut up and let Kat take the con.
Okay, well, as you know from the last episode, we announced that I was a finalist in the Greater Adelaide Local Business Awards, and I brought home the trophy.
You may have to unblur
Oh,
it.
shut up. Thank you for stating the obvious, mister. Jeez. You think I don't know anything?
Sorry.
Wow. I brought home the trophy.
That is
Please
amazing.
simplify your tech.
Now, for those people who are not watching on YouTube, you didn't get a chance to see it. So that's another reason you should come over to YouTube and watch our video.
Yeah.
But continue on.
Not a whole lot more to say.
Really? I thought there'd be so much more to say. Like we went out, had a wonderful evening. Kat had sparkly shoes, so she sparkled all over
Oh, it
the
was
place.
hilarious. There was this other couple sitting at our table, and the woman was wearing this like amazing sparkly dress.
Mm,
And as soon as we met each other and saw each other, we're like, we're sparkle matchy. We're both going to win tonight, and we did.
yes.
And that was cool.
I videoed the whole thing of Kat winning, and then the funny thing is, about three or four categories after ours was the people that were on our table. It was their category that was coming up, and so
The
the
sparkly
sparkly
twin.
lady. So, I was showing them Kat's trophy because Kat was out, doing her press, stuff and taking
Yeah, it was
photographs and
actually really cool. One of the sponsors was a marketing company, and they set up kind of a red carpet thing, and they had a media wall, and they had you come out and take a whole bunch of pictures in front of the media wall, and they actually had an exceptionally reasonably priced package so you could get all the pictures, and they're going to send me a video of my acceptance speech that has been professionally edited. So
yeah.
that's kind of exciting.
So she's out doing that. So I was showing the people next to us, who had the sparkly dress, the trophy, and their category was coming up, and I said to the guy, "Well, do you want to rub the our trophy for luck because it's still got good juju in it?" And he's like, and I'm like, "Go ahead, do it." So she rubbed the trophy, and he rubbed the trophy, and three categories later,
They
they
won.
won their award. And I
And
and I was saying, "See, told you
and
rubbing the
and
trophy."
and one of the things that was most special about the night was how happy people were for each other.
Yeah,
I mean, she was over the moon when I won, and you could hear me screaming when they announced them, and it was funny because as soon as they announced it, I started screaming, and he turned around and he's like, "Yay!"
everybody
It,
was really helping each other out. There was no, "Oh,
yeah.
you've won," and it was nothing like that.
And there was four women sitting to my left on the table, and the woman directly next to me was up for in the beauty category, and all of us at the table honestly thought she was going to win, and she didn't, and we were just like, oh, damn, we felt it for her.
Yeah,
I had some friends in the room that I've known from networking events, and it really meant a lot that they came over to me to I mean, like genuinely congratulate me. Um, and it was funny because in my acceptance speech, I actually hadn't prepared one because I didn't know that they let you do that. I should have prepared something anyway, but it was funny because there was another woman in my a finalist against me that I know. She's a marketing agent and she's amazing at what she does. And I got up there and I'm like, I'm trying to catch my breath. And I said, I'm in shock because I honestly thought Beck was gonna win.
Yeah, yeah,
And the
she's the
whole
right
room
lady.
just laughed. And and I talked a little bit about my business because they actually said in the beginning, tell us a little bit about what you do. So I did talk a little bit about what I do and thanked my husband because I wouldn't be able to do what I do without him doing what he does and supporting me the beautiful way that he does.
No, she could do
And
it
yeah, it was just
without
an
me.
incredible evening. And I really should probably put a picture up on the page
Hmm.
or in
Yes.
the group because it's not technically Big Bang or Nerdverse related, so I'll put it in the group.
Yeah, because remember, the only things we don't allow on on the Facebook page or group is political or pornography.
Yeah.
Everything else we authorized to do.
Yeah, no mean
So, you
stuff.
know, no mean stuff. So that's something is a wonderful thing. So we are all extremely proud and excited for her to win that award. So this is our
It's
part.
also the first award for my business, which is very exciting.
Yes, one of many. And I did take her out yesterday for a celebratory breakfast where she had two mimosas.
Yep, and it was really lovely. The restaurant actually shouted me the second mimosa to help celebrate,
So
which was
she
very
had one
sweet.
for me plus the breakfast, and then she got another mimosa. So,
Yeah.
so
No, needless
yes.
to say, I didn't get that much done yesterday.
And if anybody is looking at the video, going, "What is he wearing today?" I am wearing my Goonies Forever T-shirt, and I'm sure there are people in our audience that knows exactly what I'm saying when I say Goonies.
Yeah, that was a
Yes,
fun movie.
that was a good movie. I liked that one.
That's where we discovered Sean Astin, and it had Short Round in it.
Yeah, but I think the more exciting part about it, which is what you told me about, is that they never allowed the kids onto the set. And so when they come down the chute and go into the water, the first time that's the first
The
time they
first
see the
time they
pirate
see the
ship.
ship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And their reactions of seeing the pirate ship is actually real. It's not okay and look at the pirate ship and act surprised. They literally, when you see them,
had never
that's their
seen it
first,
before, and
they've
was
never
like,
seen it.
"Holy crap, that's awesome!"
Yeah, and that's their first reaction.
Yeah,
So that is what I'm wearing, and so we are
I haven't seen
extreme.
that movie in a long time.
Yeah, I know. I think it's on Netflix or
Oh,
Disney
is
or
it?
something.
Cool.
But yeah, we are extremely excited that Kat won that one. So on behalf of the PMS family, because all of the PMS family are screaming, going, "Say it, say it, say it!" Congratulations on your win.
Thanks,
You
baby.
so deserved it. You
Yeah,
really do.
it's pretty special. I still look over at it and think, I can't believe that that's mine. And it was funny because um, I've been associated with a networking organization called BX Networking, and the founder and CEO Matt Alderton was there, and I've met him before, and we were chatting before the meeting and having a really lovely conversation. He's just a really great guy. And Matt happened to be the one who presented my award, and I ran into him in the lobby after I did my photos, and I actually said to him that having him present the award was really the icing on the cake for me.
Yeah, it was a very
That was
special
very
thing.
special for me.
Yeah. And I was actually really glad that she was actually able to be presented her award by the CEO and founder of
Yeah.
BX because I think that
Because
really,
BX is one of the partners sponsoring the event. Um, they get to deliver some of the award or present some of the awards. So it was just icing on the cake for me to have Matt do it. It was
yeah.
really fun.
Now we did have, now usually we say the people's names on like a welcome to the group, but it hasn't popped up yet. So we actually just want to give a very big shout out to our newest listener, Sarah. We won't say your middle name or last name because we don't want to,
We believe in
we do believe
privacy
in,
unless you tell us to.
yeah. Yeah. Um, but yeah, we just wanted to welcome Sarah to our Big Bang PMS family because
Welcome, Sarah.
she's just started listening to our she actually discovered our podcast. So she one of the things she actually wrote is
Excuse me, mailbag.
oh, mailbag, yeah, okay. Well, we'll do the mailbag then, but we just wanted to have a big shout out to Sarah.
Yeah, don't do
For
that or we won't have anything for the mailbag.
all right, so we're gonna have the mailbag at the end of the month. So
Yep.
but yes, welcome Sarah to the PMS family. And this week's episode, it is season two, episode number what the hell?
5, the
Five.
Euclid alternative.
I will ask Kat, but I know the answer. What did you think about this episode?
This is actually one of my top 3 episodes of the entire series.
Yep, I'll
I
go along with
love
that.
this episode.
I will go along with that.
I love this so hard.
This is a great, great episode.
Yeah.
There are so many things about this episode that make it amazing, and there are so many things about this episode that you start watching it and then you're like, "Oh, it's finished," because it's so
Yeah.
quick.
It
It
goes so
flows.
fast.
Yeah, it flows absolutely beautifully. And the cast just seem to be having a great amount of fun,
I think the
including,
best one is when Penny hits him with the pillow.
yeah, which we're gonna get
And you can
to.
see Kaylee Cuoco trying really hard not to lose it.
Yeah, Kaylee Cuoco in this episode, there are a couple of occasions that you actually see her trying to hold her laughter.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was one of them. But yeah, so, but the episode opens up where we see that Leonard comes in. Well, we don't understand that he's coming in from work. First thing in the morning, he walks in, throws his bag down, and basically face plants himself into
The
the
couch.
sofa. And
Fortunately, there was a pillow in Sheldon's
yeah,
spot.
and we see Sheldon come out of his bedroom and says, "Oh, good morning, Leonard. We have to stop at
It scares the crap out of Leonard.
yeah." And he says, we've got to stop off at
Pottery
Pottery
Barn.
Barn because I need to return my Star Wars sheets because the
They
fact that
proved to,
stimulating for a good night's sleep."
yeah. I
And he
don't
said,
like the
"No."
way Darth Vader looks at me.
And he says, "Well, I'm not going to work today." And he goes, "Oh, well, just because your career has been stagnant for a couple of years doesn't mean any reason for you to give up." And he's like, "No, Sheldon, I've been using the free electron laser, which is only available at nighttime." And he said, "Remember I told you that, and you had to make other alternatives to go to work?" And he goes, "You did." And he goes, "Did well?" And he goes, "Well, I didn't. Let's go." And he
And
goes,
so, how's that Leonard's problem?
"It's not Leonard's problem at all.
Yeah.
But remember, part of the, and this is where it comes down to, part of the roommate agreement when you first saw Leonard come into the apartment and get a lease from Sheldon is Sheldon says in the roommate agreement, would you be willing to drive me to work? And he's like, well, yeah, I'm going to the same place. Yeah, I guess that would be okay. So under Sheldon's ideas is that clause is still in effect.
Yeah.
It's never been, you know. So he goes, well, I like it how Sheldon says, um, oh, that's right. So Leonard says, "Well, I can't take you for a couple of weeks, whatever." And he gets up and he goes, "Well, you got to find some way take the bus to work." And he goes, "Well, no, I can't take the bus to work because they don't have seat belts and they won't let you lash yourself to the seat with bungee cords." And he goes, "You tried to yourself to the seats with the bungee cords?" He goes, "Well, no, I didn't. Try. I succeeded, and then it alarmed the other passengers, and I was asked to debus." And he goes, "Well, you're a big boy. You'll figure it out." And he goes, "Don't talk to me like I'm a child. Now take me to Pottery Barn to return my
Return
Star Wars sheets."
My Star Wars sheets. Now, I'd like to point out that it makes no sense for Sheldon to lash himself to a bus seat because there are no safety belts. A bungee cord will not, because they have some give to them. A bungee
Yeah.
cord would not improve his safety one bit, since even a low speed impact, the body's momentum is far too great to be restrained by even multiple bungee cords, which even a far lesser physicist would know.
Now, it depends on how many times that he would lash himself. I wouldn't actually expect Sheldon just to do like from the top to the bottom, like one and that's it. I would say he'd probably do maybe two or three to try and hold himself in. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I know.
I've thought of
But
like,
it's I still don't think it would necessarily be enough. But then again,
because
they'd
sometimes
lash.
because sometimes you get that thought in your mind, like you try and envisage or envisage. how Sheldon would look. I first thought maybe a crossways,
Oh,
like a
I was
Chris.
thinking about a dozen of them,
Well, that's what I was
various
first thinking too. I thought
configurations,
I was,
knowing Sheldon.
one from the top to left to the right, right to the left, and then like one across his middle, and then maybe one on either side down. It wouldn't just be
Well,
like
I
one.
mean, you'd have to have at least a half a dozen to 10 to start scaring the other passengers.
Yeah, because he would, and knowing Sheldon how he is with safety, he would really lash himself into it.
Yeah.
So the next scene we see is Sheldon is knocking on Penny's front door.
And this is the first proper appearance of Sheldon's signature knock, 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 penny, knock, 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 penny, knock, 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 penny.
I didn't know that.
It's the first time that we've now established the pattern
The three
from
knocks.
here on out.
And Penny opens the door, and let's just say in the studio that day it was a little cold because Kaylee was sort of like very
She was a little nipply.
little nipply when she
I
opens the
did not
door.
trust you to notice that.
What do you mean? Trust me to notice that.
Well, you are a
Okay.
guy.
Well, yeah, thank you. I do have a dingle twang, so I'm supposed to remember these things.
You see what I have to live with, people?
I do sometimes wear budgie smugglers.
I
Although,
don't know why that amuses me so much. The budgie
although,
smugglers.
not so much a budgie, maybe a parrot.
Definitely. A cocky?
So,
No, it's a
a
cocky.
cocky, no, probably not a cocky. Oh my God,
Definitely a cocky.
this podcast is going to have to come with a warning this week.
Yep.
Um, so she opens the door and there's Sheldon standing there and he goes to Penny. And Penny, you can see, is clearly been woken by
Yeah,
this.
he just dragged her out of bed
Yeah.
and she's like, "What?"
And Sheldon's sitting there going, Leonard's asleep. And she goes, thanks for the update. And
Update.
goes to shut the door and he goes, you need to drive me to work. And she goes, no, I
Oh,
don't think I do need to
no, I
drive you
don't
to work.
think I do.
And he goes, well, I'm actually invoking the
No,
friendship.
first he's like, "Didn't you recently say that you and I are
And
friends?"
that's right. And she goes, yes, Sheldon, we are friends.
And then I am invoking the implied covenant known as the favor.
And I love it as Penny goes,
Ah,
oh
God.
dear God. And he goes, oh, I didn't realize I disturbed you while you're in the middle of your morning prayers.
When you're done, we can
We can
go.
go. So then the next scene we see is Penny and Sheldon in Penny's car. And they're driving along and she is just talking 19 miles to the minute. And he says to her that he's rather concerned that Penny's check engine light is on.
Now, this is the first time that it is mentioned about Penny's check engine light, and it becomes a running joke throughout the rest of the series.
Mm,
Now, the car, because we do see it from the outside at one point,
yep.
is seen to be an MK1 first generation Volkswagen Rabbit Cabriolet. This was sold in the US in the early 1980s. This vehicle does not have an onboard diagnostic system and is thus not equipped with a check engine light.
No.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
that
that's a
that
great bit of trivia.
that's one of my favorite pieces of trivia for this episode.
Now, it's also very interesting when we find out about red cars. Sheldon actually points out, and I know I'm not skipping ahead, but he does point out that red cars are pulled over more often by the police than any other color.
He
And Penny's
also
car is
says
red.
that they have a higher insurance rate and something else. But now the statement that red cars are pulled over more often is actually correct. The
I
rest
don't
of
know
it
what,
is not.
I don't know why that is. Why would they be pulled over more
Because
often?
they're sporty and fun and people tend to speed in them.
Yeah, okay. Well,
And apparently drug dealers drive them more
seriously?
often. I don't know. But
Oh,
yeah,
good. Okay.
apparently naughty people drive red cars.
Yeah,
Guess we're not getting a red car.
we're not getting a red car. So as they're
Because we're
driving,
not naughty people.
we're not naughty people. So as they're driving along, Sheldon is, saying to Penny about the fact that while Sheldon and Leonard are driving, they usually exercise their mind in some way.
Actually, before that, she starts to take a
A
sip of
drink of
coffee.
coffee, that's right. And he goes,
And
"Oh,
Sheldon says studies have shown that performing tasks such as eating, talking on a cell phone, or drinking coffee while driving reduces one's reaction time by the same factor as an ounce of alcohol. Now,
of course." She says, "Do you have alcohol?" And he goes, "No." And she goes, "Too bad."
yeah. Now, looking at Penny, I wholeheartedly support the coffee.
Oh yeah, Penny has been dragged out of bed. I mean, we also find out that as Penny says to Sheldon, "You do realize this is my day off, right?" And he
And
goes,
he's
"Oh,
like,
good."
oh, good, I'm not keeping you from anything.
She is disheveled. She is literally driving with as far as I'm concerned, the resting bitch face. She's ready
She
to
was
kill him.
planning to sleep for another 2 hours.
Yeah. And she's being dragged up out of bed. Now she could have, in Sheldon's defense, Penny could have said no.
Yeah.
But Penny goes, "Okay, I will drive you to work." She didn't realize what she was
Well,
getting
I
herself into,
also
though.
want to point out that she knew about the bungee cord thing, and because she's like, well,
That's
just
right.
take the bus. As long as you don't do that bungee cord thing, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
Which really points to a deepening of their relationship.
it does because he's opened up to her about that.
Yeah. Now I'd like to finish my trivia.
Yes.
Okay, so he said, now I asked the question, how is it truly any different to be talking to someone in the car versus on a cell phone?
I I don't think there's any difference.
Because this is the thing is people get really annoyed on trains and buses when people are having a phone conversation.
Yeah,
Even if they're on headphones, you're still hearing them talk.
yeah.
But if they were sitting next to someone and talking, you wouldn't be annoyed. So my question is, what's the difference?
I guess it would be, I mean, a lot of people say it's the distraction. When you're driving, you're supposed to concentrate 100%. And when you're talking to somebody, some of that concentration is being detracted from to the conversation. But I don't think that's
No,
really
because I
real.
mean, you and I talk in the car periodically, and I've actually always found it helpful to have someone talk to me when I'm driving, especially if I'm tired.
Yeah. Yeah. And also with the fact that we've all got hands-free stuff in the
Yeah.
car now and Bluetooth and stuff like that, it's no different than if we're driving along with someone sitting next to us or over
Yeah.
the phone. So
Yeah. So anyway, he said that it reduces the reaction time by the same factor as an ounce of alcohol. However, these activities actually increase someone's reaction time because you're paying more attention because you are multitasking.
yeah.
And with Sheldon's IQ, you would think he would realize that that statement is incorrect.
Mm. Well, yeah. Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
So as we're going along, Penny decides to take Euclid
Oh no,
Avenue.
not Euclid Avenue.
And he says, "You're taking Euclid Avenue?" And she goes, "Uh-huh." And he goes, "Oh, well, Leonard usually takes Los Robles Avenue." And she goes, "Well, good for Leonard." And as he says, Euclid Avenue is faster.
As the crow
However,
flies.
however, it takes longer because of the fact there are speed bumps.
Okay. Euclid Avenue is also known as State Route 83,
Hmm.
and it runs from the Foothill Freeway all the way to the Chino Valley Freeway for 14 miles.
Okay.
The section that runs through Pasadena runs downhill and contains many speed bumps. It runs parallel to Los Robles Avenue, which Sheldon mentions that Leonard usually takes. Now, what's interesting is that people choose to take. Um, okay, so my suspicion is that they take Euclid Avenue because fewer cars take it because of the speed bumps.
Yeah.
So
That would
technically,
that
it's
would make
probably
sense.
a little bit easier to get down.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that their apartment building is on Los Robles Avenue. So you have to
Yeah.
actually um, go across and then down to get.
Because you notice when she's on Los Robles, she takes a left onto Euclid. She turns the car left onto Euclid
Yeah, so
Avenue.
she would have had to turn right onto something else to turn
Yeah.
left onto Euclid Avenue.
Yeah, she does two turns.
Yeah,
She does the first one and then the left onto Euclid and
yeah.
starts going
Oh,
down the
instead of just going straight down Los Robles.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, as we're driving along, she doesn't tend to slow down for the speed bump. So as
Yeah.
Sheldon says, well, I guess, it may be faster if you're not going to stop for speed bumps. One of the things that actually he does point out when they're doing the car game is he says about the street, like the street names.
Hmm.
He said, "What's the most common? What do you think the most common street name is?" And he says, "It's usually." Do you have a trivia fact for that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, please go ahead because I can't
Okay,
remember it
so
all.
Sheldon says most people think that it's First Street.
Mm,
Personally, I would think Main Street,
yeah, that's what I thought.
but Sheldon is actually correct that Second Street is the most common street name in America. This is according to the National League of Cities, which lists 10,866 streets with that name. The First Street is actually third on the list behind Third Street.
And
So it
apparently,
actually goes second, third, first.
a lot of the time, First Street is usually redone into like Main
Main
Street
Street.
or Center Street,
Yeah.
which is very interesting. I
Which the
didn't know
town that
that
I grew
either.
up in had both.
Oh, yes, I remember you telling me
Well,
about
Main
that one.
Street went north south and
Yeah,
Center Street went east west.
so it intersected each other.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay. So as we're going along, and Sheldon is they're going over the speed bumps, and Penny has actually they were playing a game. Sheldon was doing basically a brain teaser with regards to the
Because he
periodic
and
table.
Leonard like to use their time
Yeah,
to improve their minds.
and of course Penny did not engage in this game whatsoever, but ends up by winning it for some reason because Sheldon.
Well, because there's an odd number of elements that start. Okay, so the game is you name an element and the other person has to name an element that starts with the last letter of your element.
Yes,
Um, so like if she said magnesium, he would have like say manganese.
yeah,
And there's an odd number of M elements. So whoever is the first one to name an M element usually wins.
yeah. So as it was, Sheldon did the entire game by himself with Penny just doing the resting bitch face driving along. And
Well,
so
she looks like she's only half awake and
I
she's
know
pissed
she's
about it.
definitely half a. And so he ends up by winning, and she says, he goes, "Do you want to go again?" And she goes, "How about we just have some quiet time now?" So they're driving along. Of course, they go over another speed bump, and of course, this is where he's driving along, and he looks and he goes, "Look, your nonchalant attitude, your check engine light is very, very troubling." So you see Penny pull over on the side of the road, and she says to him, "Get
Get
out." And
out.
he goes, "I do have a working knowledge of internal combustion, but I don't think I'm good enough to do diagnostics." And she
Get
goes, "Get out."
out.
And he goes, "Okay, I'll give it a shot." So he gets out of the car. This is where we see what color Penny's car is and what kind of car it is because she drives off,
Yep.
leaving him on the side of the road.
Looking very confused.
Hey, how did this happen? Well, that was because you mentioned the check engine light way too many times,
Because he
Sheldon.
was being annoying.
So the next scene we see is Sheldon's coming into the cafeteria of Caltech, and Leonard is sitting there with Howard. Now
A
Leonard's having a
coffee.
coffee, and Howard is having a milkshake or a thick shake. And he walks in, Sheldon walks in and goes, "Oh, good, Leonard, you're here. I'm ready to go home now." And he goes, "Well, I just got here." And he goes, "Oh, good. So we
Perfect
can
timing.
perfect timing. Let's go." And he goes, "Didn't I tell you that I only have access to the free electron laser at nighttime? So I'm not going to be able to drive you for a couple of weeks."
No, that was to work. This is from work.
That's right. And then when he says that, this is where Leonard looks at Howard and goes, "Help me out here." And he goes,
No,
"I
just
think
for
I'm going to
fun, I'm going to take his
take his
side.
side." So as we see, Leonard gets up and says, "You're going to have to find a way to get
Find
home."
another way home.
Sheldon then looks directly at Howard, who then says,
Oh, damn, I picked the wrong side.
the next scene we see is Sheldon screaming at the top of his lungs, Howard's
On the back
scooter,
of Howard's little 50cc scooter. And he's
wearing a pink
and as
helmet.
you see Howard turn, he's like, "Oh no, not Euclid Avenue."
Now he is screaming. He's not only screaming, but he's basically choking Howard.
Yeah.
He's wearing a pink helmet,
Yeah.
and the fact that it is the most hilarious thing you've ever seen. Now, the next scene we see is now Sheldon is in Raj's car, and Raj says exactly why was it that Howard, left you on the side of the road, and he says that he was trying to basically kill him.
But we had a
Although,
difference of opinion about what? Whether or not he was trying to kill me.
yeah, the fact is Howard was only driving 40 miles an hour.
I mean, you could barely keep the bike up.
Oh my God, that was just yeah. So, so as Raj is driving, he turns the car to drive, and he says, "Where?" And Sheldon says, "Where are you going?" And he goes, "I'm taking you home." And he goes, "Well, I'm not going home today. I'm got to go to Pottery Barn to return my Star Wars sheets. Plus, I've got to go to Soup Plantation. It's creamy tomato
Tomato
soup
soup
day."
night, which sounds really good,
Yeah.
actually.
Oh, and I also need to go to Radio Shack because they're having a sale on AAA batteries. Oh, and it's new comic book night. And this is something that everyone should know. And Raj
Well,
should
we
be
haven't
taking them.
established the fact that Wednesday is New Comic Book Night yet.
But he as he says, it's new comic book night. I've got to go to the comic book store, and he goes, I've got a better idea. And he goes, do you want to go to Pottery Barn first, or Radio Shack first, or one of them
No,
first?
Pottery Barn.
Pottery Barn first. That's right. Yeah,
I miss Pottery Barn. It's a fun store.
that was actually yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Barnes and Noble. That was actually really nice.
You like the bookstore?
Yes, I went to Barnes and Noble. Remember, I was looking for a job there. I got a job there. You were
No.
sitting. You were sitting in the waiting room for me. You were sitting there waiting for me. Yeah. I got a job at Barnes and Noble.
Did you ever work there?
No, I moved to you and I got married and we went on a honeymoon and then I returned to Australia, but I got a job at Barnes and Noble.
I don't remember that.
Well, I definitely did.
You in a bookstore. Wow.
I know.
Who would have
Scary.
thought?
It's a parallel universe. See, the entire universe has shifted. So I think when CERN turned on the super collider and moved the entire Earth to another dimension, that's why I was going to get a job at Barnes and Noble.
Yeah,
It
because
already
you and
happened.
I would never in a million think you in bookstore.
Well, I got the
And
job
the
there.
fact that you don't read would have made me think that they'd never hire you.
Well, I got a job there. I remember going there.
I mean, to work in the cafe as a barista, maybe.
I mean, I don't there because
You froze. What was that?
I said I even got a job. When I got the job there, they even gave me a locker with my own locker combination. Mm-hmm. Definitely
No,
got
I
it.
do not remember this at all.
Nope, she's in another dimension. Never mind. So we find out that unfortunately everybody that that Sheldon has been taken home by has basically dumped him on. Oh, that's right. One thing we forgot to mention is that when Sheldon goes to the cafeteria and Leonard says, well, how did you get to work? And he said, Penny. Although I'm assuming that is no longer an option
Yeah,
because the fact that he had been thrown
kicked
out of
out
her
of the
car.
car.
So Raj had done the same thing. So the next scene we see is Sheldon is coming out of his bedroom first thing in the morning, and we find that the group is sitting there in the living room.
Ready for an intervention. Now, I'd like to take a moment to point out that this is a rare camera view in
Yes, it
Leonard and
is.
Sheldon's apartment. From the vantage of the hallway that's normally seen to the back right, going to the bedrooms, that allows us to see the fourth wall that is the front of the apartment, and that's what the camera normally sees through, and it's where the audience sits.
Yeah.
So this viewpoint, as Sheldon enters the living room, was recorded the day before the show day, and this is because putting up and taking down the fourth wall would have been too time consuming to do in front of the studio audience. So, and it's not uncommon, it's a common practice to shoot scenes ahead of time in shows that are shot before a studio audience, either due to time constraints like this one, inaccessibility of the shooting location, like when they went to where the Star Trek mountains are,
Yeah.
or other mitigating factors such as nudity.
Yeah. Yeah, when you see the configuration of the apartment and
Hmm.
you see where Sheldon's desk is to where Leonard's desk is, and there's a wall there, it's almost like, oh, what, hang on, why are we seeing? We've never seen that.
Well, and this
So
is
it's
the
a great
thing
vantage
is,
point.
um, it, it always looks like their desks are in the middle of the room, but in this
Yeah,
shot, the desks are up against the wall,
up
which
against
would
the
make
wall.
sense. It actually makes me want to go back and watch the beginning again because I wasn't paying attention and I didn't notice stuff in the apartment on that wall.
Well, yeah, I mean, you only have to fast forward to the intervention. But the funny thing about it is that when you see from Sheldon's vantage point, when he's walking into the living room, you see the wall there. Technically, that apartment isn't as big as what you first think.
No.
You think it's a very open and spacious thing. When you see that wall, there, it's actually a small apartment.
Yeah.
It's not
It's
as,
not huge.
it's not huge. No, not at all. But we see that Sheldon is, with this intervention, we're seeing that everybody has decided that this madness has to end, and Sheldon needs to get his learner's permit.
Yep.
And of course, we find out that poor old Penny has lost the bet because rock beats scissors.
Yep.
Obviously, they were doing, and and as Penny does say to him, "You're hurting the ones who around you, sweetie." And even Raj is sitting there, nodding his head because obviously he can't talk without alcohol in front of Penny. So we see that Penny is the one that's got to take him to the DMV
DMV,
to get his
which is the
license.
Department of Motor Vehicles.
Yeah. However, Sheldon says we need to stop by Pottery Barn
He's
first.
like, okay, but on one condition.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
stop in the
that's
pot.
right. I meant to say when Sheldon did get home from everything that's gone on with Raj and Howard and Leonard, he goes to Penny's apartment, knocks on the door, and Penny opens the door, and he's there with his Star Wars sheets and says, "Can you drive me to Pottery Barn to return my Star Wars sheets?" And she closes the door in his face, and he goes, "Oh, maybe if I turn the night light off, I can keep the sheets."
Yeah.
So in this instance, now he still wants to return these Star Wars sheets, and he says, "Oh, and we need to go to Soup Plantation. Oh, and we need to go to Radio Shack. Oh, and the new comic book store." So there's Howard sitting on the
I
edge of
love
the
how
couch.
that's one condition.
Yeah. So Howard's sitting on the end of the sofa. Raj is sitting in a chair in the middle of the room. And when she says, "Fine," and Sheldon goes out and Penny goes out, this is where Howard stands up and goes, "Oh, I'd like to go to the comic book store," and follows them out and closes the door.
Okay, I would like to point out
Yeah.
that they obviously have enough chairs for everyone to sit down.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So why does Raj always end up on the floor when they're having dinner?
I do not know.
And he actually complains about that in a future episode.
He does. But he also does sit on a cushion, so I don't
But
know.
even so, they have enough chairs.
Yeah, they do. So I like it how Raj is sitting there and he's
And I
looking.
think that's Leonard's desk chair, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it was like a kitchen chair because the
Yeah, I
boys.
know, but they don't have anything else, any place else where that would go. So I think it might be Leonard's desk chair at
Oh,
that
I know
point.
where that might go. It might go up where the bookcase is. You know where the bookcase
Yeah,
that
maybe. Yeah,
raised
because there
area?
is a desk up
There's a
there.
desk up there. That's probably where they've got the
Okay, yeah.
chair. So Raj is sitting there rather, like um everybody's gone and he's sitting there. And it's like,
And then he finally,
Leonard's
he's
gone to
like,
bed.
I like comic books.
Because Leonard's gone to bed, everyone's gone. He's just sitting there. It's like that scene where he was making a sandwich, and everyone turned
Yeah,
out the light, went to bed, and he's still just sitting there making a sandwich in the kitchen, and nobody knew that he was still there.
yeah.
So the next scene we see is Sheldon is at the DMV, and this is where I really love um Jim Parsons. I don't know, I can't remember the line, but they're in line waiting for the DMV, and Penny says to Sheldon, "Why didn't you just get your license at 16?" And he said, "I was occupied." And she says, "With what?" And he lists off like a huge experiment that he was learning to do. And then she goes, "Well, what about when you were 17?" And then the next scene we see is that he the counter, and there's the DMV lady, and
Beautifully played by Octavia Spencer.
really
And she and
fun.
Jim Parsons actually were in Hidden Figures together a few years later.
That's right, they were. I was wondering why I could notice that lady.
And she was, did you ever see the movie The Help?
Yes, I did. Yes, the about the way the
The
African
black
American
maids.
maids.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
black maids
yeah.
in the like the 50s or something.
No, it would have been later than that, earlier than that, like the 20s and 30s.
I don't know. But anyway, the
Yeah.
woman that she worked for was just horrible. And she literally served her shit pie.
Funny thing, I actually saw that movie with you, The Help.
No, you didn't, did you?
Yeah, yeah, did.
Oh,
Yep,
because I remember
certainly did.
taking my mom to see it in the theater.
Yeah, and then you and
Um,
I saw it on
on
Netflix. Yeah.
Netflix, yeah. But that scene. And the woman's like, "Oh, this is the best thing you've ever made." And then she tells her what's in it, and it's like the best freaking revenge moment. I
Yeah.
love that movie.
So he goes up to the DMV lady and she says, and that's what she goes,
Application.
application. He goes, well, I'm actually more of a theorist. And she
And
goes,
Penny's like, "The application
patient
in
in
your
your
hand.
hand.
Give it to her."
Yeah. So she stamps the thing. She goes, put your name at the top,
Hands him another paper, says, "Put your name on the top,
answer the
sign the
question
bottom,
and
answer the
answer the
questions, and
questions.
bring it back."
Yeah, next. And he goes, I've got some questions. I've got some concerns about these questions. And she goes, see the sign up there? And he goes, yes. And she goes, does it look
Does
like
it
it
look like
says
it says I care?
I give a damn? And he goes, no. And she goes, that's because I don't.
Yeah.
And so he starts to talk about the fact that there are some questions that just don't make
Things like
sense.
how many car lengths did you leave between you and the car in front of you? But a car length is not a standard unit of measure.
Yeah. If you're driving along, what's the coefficient of wetness on the road to stop,
Yeah.
in time? And you can see that she's actually realized that he's gonna basically ace this, or more than likely he's gonna stand here
He's going to
and go
stand
through
here for the
every
next
question.
45 minutes going through every question and annoy the hell out of me and
Yeah.
make the line back
But
up.
even Howard says, why are you arguing with the DMV?
It's like, no, you don't do that.
No.
I remember back in the day before on the Roseanne show, before the Connors won apparently won the lottery
And the whole show
and the whole
tanked.
show went off the rails.
Yeah,
There was a time when Roseanne's character was unemployed and they
that's
were
right.
like taking polls on social media of what would be the best job for her to get next.
Yeah.
And the best, honestly, in my mind,
Oh,
I have never seen an episode of Roseanne.
I've seen
Okay. And
every
it's because I
episode.
can't stand Roseanne Barr. I think she's ridiculously unfunny
Yeah,
and just rude. I think she's
yeah.
obnoxious.
And I
So
can
I've
see where
never
this is.
seen an episode of it.
I can see where this is going.
But the best suggestion that came forward, and I honestly think it would have been a perfect fit for her
Hmm.
personality, was to work at the DMV because the
Definitely.
reputation of the DMV at this point in time was that everybody who worked there was just mean.
Yeah.
They all hated life. It was a soul-sucking job, and the last thing you want to do is have to go in there.
Well, you hear Octavia Spencer say the same exact thing that she says to Sheldon, one person before him.
Yeah,
It's saying the same
same
thing.
thing over
Put your
and
name
over.
at the top, sign at the bottom, answer the questions, bring it back. Next. Put your name at the
The
top,
top,
sign at the
sign the
bottom,
bottom,
answer the
answer the
questions,
questions,
bring it
bring it
back.
back.
Next. It's
Yeah,
That's the same thing that she says. So I can see that's a soul-sucking job.
yeah.
You know,
I mean,
what if
some people like that kind of structure,
the repetition would get you after a while.
but some people like that.
Yeah, they do.
There
Yeah.
are some people who like that.
Yeah.
I am not one of them.
No. You're definitely not one of them. You're an award winner.
My
Um,
physics bowl trophy.
she won her physics bowl trophy, everybody. So the next scene we see is Sheldon's walking away from the DMV desk saying to
No,
the
no,
guys,
so she
nailed it,
grabs this little form, stamps it, and says, "Here's your learner's permit. Now
permit, go
go
away.
away." And he's like, "Nailed it."
Nailed it. So the next thing we see on this one is sorry,
Howard.
Howard is setting up a driving simulator in the living room.
Yep. And it's really
It
cool.
is looks really cool, and he
He borrowed
says,
it from a buddy who created it for the army.
and he goes, well, is that the reason why I'm in downtown Fallujah in an up armored Humvee? And he goes, okay, what
He's like, "Well,
car
I
would you?
haven't set it up yet.
Yeah,
I
and
haven't figured it yet."
he goes through a number of things, this, that, Batmobile, and he's like, oh, and Leonard's like, no,
No.
not the Batmobile, and he
Okay,
says,
so red
what car would
1994, whatever it is.
what car would you like? And he goes, well, first of all, he gets a red car, and he goes, no, statistically, they're stopped more than any
And
other
we get
car,
into that whole
and I like
thing.
that
Yeah.
Sheldon looks at Leonard and goes, nobody messes with the fuzz.
No, I don't need any harassment from the fuzz.
Yeah. Um, so then he goes, okay, well, what color car would you like? And he goes, um, what about the pale blue color of Luke Skywalker's lightsaber before it was digitally altered
Except, yeah, but
by George Lucas?
Luke's lightsaber was green. It was Anakin's that was blue,
No, no, no.
wasn't it?
When Obi-Wan first gave him the lightsaber in his house, it is the blue lightsaber.
I'm
which
not so
is,
sure about
yeah,
that.
I 100%, yeah, I will stake my life on it.
Okay, because
The
my
because
trivia
the
sources say it was green and that Anakin's was blue.
Yeah, but Luke Skywalker's very first lightsaber that he got was blue. He constructed a new lightsaber in Empire in Return of the Jedi, which was green, and that's why and that Darth Vader actually said, "I see you've constructed a new lightsaber." But his original lightsaber that Obi-Wan gave him, he said, "I have something here. It was your father's, but what he wanted
Yep,
you to have it,
you're right.
and it was
Luke
blue."
Skywalker's first lightsaber was
Now it
blue.
was pale blue, but when
You're
yeah,
both right.
okay,
Luke Skywalker's first lightsaber was blue. Obi-Wan Kenobi gave it to him as it had previously belonged to his father, Anakin.
yes.
So we're both right.
Yeah, because I did just say that he said, I've got something here. It was your
It was your
father's, and he
father's.
wanted you to have
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And then he constructs the green lightsaber in Return of the Jedi.
yeah.
So, and of course, we know from everybody that's seen Star Wars that George Lucas digitally remastered that copy, and it became really, really standout blue.
Yeah,
But the original pale blue is what we all remember Luke Skywalker's.
yeah.
And
At
of course,
least
how,
in the alternate universe.
yeah. And of course, how it goes, black car it is.
Yeah.
So now, I'm going to let you start this one because this is the funny part that you like. We're going to start with the fact that Sheldon turns on the car, goes to turn on the
No,
car, and he goes, well, hang on a minute. I've
you
got to
gotta.
put my seatbelt on.
Now
So,
he makes a big deal out of putting on the seatbelt.
yeah.
And that's
So
a
he
point
does
to
it.
remember because we're going to come back to it.
Yep. Then he says, what about, do I have airbags? And he goes, and Leonard goes, you don't need airbags. And he says, what happens if I'm rear-ended by a simulated truck or car?
And
And Penny
Penny's like, I'll
says,
hit you in the face with a
face with a
pillow.
pillow. So you see that Sheldon turns on the car, you hear it start up,
Oh, okay.
and he
And then
says,
he
okay,
and
just
Leonard says, now gently pull out
go
into
to
traffic, but
traffic.
you'll notice he doesn't tell him to look for oncoming traffic,
No, he just
which
says,
is what
pull out
starts the whole
slowly.
issue.
I'll let you go ahead with this. You don't
But
know what happens next?
well, he
Okay, so he
pulls into
pulls out into
traffic.
traffic, but it goes haywire.
You tell me to talk and then you talk over me.
No, I'm just saying it goes haywire. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. And he gets into all kinds of trouble. He gets into a crash. He gets rear-ended by something. So Penny gets to hit him in the face with a pillow.
This,
And
yeah,
you can tell that Kaylee Cuoco's trying to lose it. Jim Parsons gives her a vintage
thank you.
such a Sheldon look, and you can tell he's trying hard not to crack up, and then just looks at him and says, "Thank you."
But I love Kaylee when you can see her about to just
Yeah, when after
laugh her
she
ass off.
hits him, it's almost like she realized what she did, and she's trying so hard not to laugh.
Because it really is, it is just that wonderful thing where you hear him being rear-ended, and then she goes and grabs the pillow and wallops him in the face with it. So,
And it's one of those rare moments of I get to hit Sheldon.
yep. Now, the next scene we see, and I'm not going to say anything about this, is that Sheldon is still driving. Everyone has
Okay,
gone
so it's
home.
now like 11:30 at night.
Yep.
Leonard comes out of his bedroom and he's like, "What are you still doing up?" And you could hear all of this chaos. And Sheldon going, "Sorry, my bad."
Student
Ah! And,
driver.
and the best part is he's turning around to wave at the people back of him and say sorry
Yeah.
when there's no monitors there. And Leonard comes over and he looks at the monitor and he's like, "How did you get into the second floor of the Glendale Gallery?"
And he said, I missed my exit, flew off the overpass, and one
And
thing
things
led to
just,
another.
yeah, one thing just kind of led to another. And that's when Sheldon is just like, "Okay, that's it. I'm done. I can't do this." And he stands up without unbuckling his seatbelt.
Thank you. I saw that too.
Yep. And he goes to sit down, and all of a sudden, you realize that he forgot to stop the car, and it just kept going. And
Uh-huh.
you're like, "Oh no!" And then all of a sudden, you hear, and all these dogs are going off. And Leonard's like, "Oh no, not the pet store."
That's why I wanted to shut up because that's Cat's favorite line.
That is my absolute favorite line of the series. In fact, we use it a lot when it's like, oh, no, when it's an oh no moment in our house. We look at each other and say, oh no,
No,
not the
not the
pet
pet
store.
store.
No, what? No, I don't know if you caught this,
Mm.
but while Leonard's watching Sheldon drive the simulator, if you listen closely, you hear him say Jim instead of Sheldon.
I did not hear that one.
Yep, you hear him call Sheldon by his real by the actor's real name in, instead of the character name.
Really?
Yep.
Man, I'd have to really listen to that one because I
Yeah.
can't remember
But
that one.
no, not the pet store.
So this is where we find out that Sheldon has decided to, well, he's not going to give up. He's basically just claiming to be a Homo novus automobilis and therefore too highly evolved to learn to drive.
To do such a pedestrian thing as drive.
Yeah. And I like how Leonard goes, Leonard, please learn how to drive. And he goes, no, 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 I'm far
I'm
too
past
evolved.
that.
Oh, that's right. I meant to say, and there was another great line when Sheldon, Penny, and Howard were standing in line at the DMV.
Hmm.
He says about the fact that I don't know why I need to learn to drive. And Howard says, because nobody made me wet myself at 40 miles an hour. And Penny says, and of course he says,
No, no, no. He says, uh, Albert Einstein never learned
that's
how to drive.
that's right. And he goes, well, that's was because
Albert
Albert
Einstein
Einstein
never made me wet myself at 40 miles an hour
miles an
going down
hour.
Euclid Avenue. And
Yeah.
Penny says Albert Einstein never made me want to knee him in the nuts. Oh
So
my.
this is where Sheldon basically says, no, I'm a higher order person and I'm not destined to
And he's
drive
like,
in.
okay, well then how is Homo novus going to get to work tomorrow?
And he says, Homo novus doesn't know.
Well, maybe you'll get lucky and evolve into something with
With
wings.
wings. So the next scene we see
Is Raj,
is
Howard, and Leonard walking down the hall at
and
Caltech.
and Sheldon is coming out in a bathrobe
Bathrobe with
and a
a
shower
hair,
cap
with a shower cap carrying a towel and
and
says good
saying,
morning and
"Morning."
continues on his way.
Yeah. We find out though that the reason that Sheldon's decided to live here is because that while Leonard's experiments are being done, he's just going to sleep in his office
It's
and
just
shower.
easier and
Yeah.
shower in the radiation lab. And Raj looks at Leonard and he says, didn't you finish your experiment a week ago? And Leonard just gives this
Yep.
little smug little grin.
The very final episode we see, a final part of the episode we see.
Scene is one of my favorites again.
Go ahead.
All right, so it's like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and the two women on the cleaning crew are coming into the cafeteria and they find a plate with the edges of toast cut off, set in an almost perfect square.
Hmm.
And she's like, oh no, not again. Well, maybe it's rats. She's like, no, rats wouldn't cut off the crust and leave them here. And then they hear a noise and they both startle, and you see her drop the plate. And then it does a close up of Sheldon in his bathrobe with the hood up, leaning over, getting something out of the drinks machine. And he hears them scream and he turns around and he says, you saw nothing. And then swoops out of the cafeteria with his bathrobe flying, and the screen goes black. Now, that last scene is a parody of the 1925 film, The Phantom of the Opera.
I was thinking that's where it came from.
Yeah,
I was
it's a
thinking that
great
exact
movie.
thing
It
when
really
I
is.
see him swooping out of the cafeteria. But yeah, the episode goes black, and that is the end of the episode. And it is one of the best episodes out there. It's definitely the top three.
Yeah, oh, it is like one of my absolute most favorite episodes of the entire series.
And the fact is that it just flows so brilliantly.
And
There's
it's
no, sl Yeah,
hilarious.
and there's no slowdown of it. And you're not sitting there
No.
going, "Oh my God, is this episode ever going to end?" You start it from the
And
start
then
to
you're
the
like,
end.
hey, how is it over
Yeah,
already?
it just goes so. I mean, it's a lot faster than this podcast, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I love how it's a 22-minute episode and it takes us at least an hour to get through the podcast.
yeah, well, I understand that. But there are a lot of people that love the podcast, so we're
Yeah.
happy to oblige.
And
But
we're
yeah,
grateful
that
for
is
that.
definitely, um, yeah, one of my favorite episodes of that one. So
Yeah.
now, do we have any more fun facts?
No more fun facts, but we had one times coffee out, which was Leonard and Howard at
Well, that's a coffee and a
Caltech.
milkshake. So,
Well, but it counts as a coffee out.
oh,
What?
what about the toast at Caltech? Would we put that one down?
No, because I doubt he paid for it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think he just kind of broke in and did it.
Well, being the fact that he's sleeping in his office,
Yeah,
he probably would go in and make his own toast and everything. Yeah.
yeah,
He'd have
yeah.
access to the
Yeah, he'd have
cafeteria's
dinner there, and
kitchen.
then for his evening snack, he'd just go in and make toast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so our question of the week.
Hmm.
If you could hire someone to permanently do one everyday task for you, what would it be?
I was thinking, okay, my first one was that I would want to have a permanent driver just drive the route that I do, and I could sit in the passenger side of my work vehicle. They do all the driving, I just go and do whatever. So that's number one. But number two would be if someone could actually just continuously pick up the dog shit out the backyard of our
Oh,
house.
yeah, that would be nice.
Because I'm always going out there to scoop up the
Because
dog poop.
Oliver's a pooping machine.
He is, we call him Sir Shits a lot.
You do. I don't.
But yeah, that.
I call him Mr. Poopy Butt.
Poopy butt, wiggle butt, smelly butt, stinky
Stinky
butt.
Butt.
He's a lot. There's a lot of butts with
It's
regards to
funny how
Oliver.
many dog nicknames center on their butt.
I know,
I
but
like
he's
Mr. Wigglebutt
Mr.
personally.
Wiggle Butt when he's walking down the hallway. We can see him wiggling as he's walking along. So
Well, and just when he gets excited and wags his tail, his whole butt wiggles.
yeah, but that would actually be the two that I would do. What about you?
Honestly, I
Hmm.
can't wait until I can hire a housekeeper
Okay,
to come in once a week to do the dusting, to do the floors,
all of it.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that is this week's question of the week. And remember, any questions that you're going to answer throughout for the next month, this month, um,
We'll
we're
catch
going to
up
do a
with on the
mailbag.
mailbag.
We're going to do a mailbag at the end of the month. So
Yep.
just stand by for that one. We are going to get to the mailbag. We're going to do it once a month, so everybody gets a chance to listen to that. And we are going to we're going to do all the emails and the answers to the questions.
Although,
So
okay. Although for me to hire somebody to do tasks for me, the hard part's picking one.
yeah, she's got a lot.
Um, scheduling making sure my social media is scheduled and done for me would be another one because that just gets annoying after a while. I don't mind creating the content, but having to go through and schedule it all can sometimes be like annoying.
Yeah,
And honestly, I would hire somebody um to drive us to wineries so we could go wine tasting and we could both enjoy it.
that would be nice.
That would be nice.
Because we did take an Uber to and from our house the other night, and we
The-
actually enjoyed ourselves and had a couple of glasses of wine.
Yep.
So it was
Although I
really
have to say
nice.
the adrenaline was so high in my system, I didn't even know I'd been drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I must
it
admit, we
burned
got,
off as fast as it went in.
yeah, and we got home, and the following morning, which was Friday, we were exhausted. And I know this is people are going to laugh their asses off at this,
Yeah.
but Friday night we got home, we had dinner, and by 7:30 at night, we were both in bed and
Yeah.
asleep. We were that tired.
We were exhausted. I
We had,
mean,
I think we had like over 10 hours of sleep that day.
oh, yeah, we had almost 11.
Yeah, it was, we were really,
Yeah.
really tired.
But it's like so we got home at 10:45 at night. I wasn't able to finally get to sleep until like quarter to one.
Yeah.
And then had to be up at 5:45. So Friday was a long day.
Very long.
Um, I came home to a beautiful surprise from my husband. Where is it? I had a card. Let me see if I can get it in front of my face there. No. All right, I'll turn off the thing again. Uh, hoping to get away with that. All right, because my messy, messy office. But I
Very
came home
nice.
to a card from my husband with a beautiful note inside of it, and a thing of M&Ms,
A bag of
a
M&Ms.
bag of M&Ms. And I just thought that was a very thoughtful thing for him to do. There are some moments that I actually feel like Paul is more excited about this win than I am.
I am very excited for her.
And what a blessing it is to be married to someone who appreciates and celebrates your success rather than being intimidated by it. My first husband would not have been so thrilled for me. It basically would have been, oh, great, good for you. If he could even say that much, and then would never mention it again. And he'd
Yeah.
get annoyed if I mentioned it at all.
No, that's ridiculous. It's,
Actually, what was funny was Paul was recording the list of finalists and the announcement, and you can hear me screaming in the background.
yep. And I encourage her to shout it from the rooftops. She deserves this. She deserves
Yeah,
every success.
on my Facebook page, I posted an announcement. I took one of my brand photos where I'm going like this,
Yep.
and I canvaed in an image of the award, and I have over 220
Yeah,
reactions and almost 100 comments on
let's
that
see
post.
how many you've
I
got
wish my
right.
normal social media would do that well.
Let's see how you've done. Da. Scrolling down, 'cause, man, you got a lot of stuff. I'm gonna scroll down.
Hmm.
Um, 220. Yep, you're right.
And how many comments does it say?
130.
Really?
You've had 220 engagements and 130 comments.
Wow. Okay.
My little one that I posted up there has had 30 engagements and 11 11 comments. So you
Well,
can
how
see
many
who
people do you have that follow your page?
God, I don't know how many friends do I have?
Yeah.
218 followers, but that's all
And
right.
on my page, I have over 2.7 thousand followers.
2,700 followers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have over
Uh
2,700 followers.
yeah. People
Um,
don't like me very much.
and 4,000 people are following me.
Jesus.
Yeah.
1,000 people? Bloody
Yep.
hell, man. Yeah, people don't follow me at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we're very proud of her. So now, do we have any
Oh
uh
yeah, crazy credit.
crazy credits? Yeah.
Yeah, Chuck Lorre Productions number 220. Friday morning, October 10th, 2008. Watching the market fall as precipitously as the hopes and dreams of NBC and ABC executives, I can't help but think that there are two bets I can make right now. One is on the simple inertia of a world economy created by hundreds of millions of people creating and servicing stuff that other people need and want. The other bet is on canned goods and guns. Since I've never actually fired a weapon and I'm not sure where my can opener is, I've decided to go with bet number one. If I'm wrong and the market continues to descend like a drug-addled hooker with vertigo, is reasonable to assume that any new world order created by the complete collapse of the free market system will have little use for a comedy writer. For that reason, I think it only prudent to hedge my bet. This weekend, I plan on learning a few new survival skills, beginning with foraging for berries and hiding from people whose skill set does includes shooting wildlife from helicopters.
You sometimes wonder where Chuck Lorre gets his ideas from.
And what he takes to get there.
Yeah. Shooting wildlife from helicopters. Oh,
Well,
okay.
that's actually a veiled reference, I think, to Sarah Palin.
Yeah.
And it probably would have been around the time of those elections when Sarah Palin was running for vice president. Um,
2008. Yeah.
yeah, she actually made a point of pointing out that she does shoot wolves from helicopters in
Yeah.
Alaska.
No, weird.
So I don't know.
But yeah, that was yeah, Euclid Avenue.
No, no, not Euclid Avenue.
That was really I
Not the pet
love
store.
this episode. Yeah. But thank you everybody for coming to visit us once again. Now remember, if you're on YouTube, you can drop us a comment in the comment section at any time. If you want to send us an email to be part of the mailbag at the end of the month, it's Perpetual Motion Squad 00. That's the number 00 at gmail.com. You can also answer the question on the Facebook group,
Page,
page.
page.
And you can also join the group as well. We put so much stuff up there. And as I said, we encourage everybody to join the Facebook page and the Facebook group. You can put anything
Yeah,
up
we have a
there.
lot of fun there.
Yeah. You can put anything up there that you want, excluding anything political or any pornography. And obviously, we'd know that if pornography went up there, Facebook would take it down
Yeah,
anyway. But if you put pornography up on the Facebook page, you will immediately get um, de
and
defanned and blocked from the page.
yeah. And we don't
So
want to do that because we
no,
love
we really
our
don't.
Piano
We love
stand.
our Facebook
And you
family.
guys are nice guys. You'd never do
Yeah.
stuff like
No, they
that.
wouldn't do that one. But we encourage everybody to join the Facebook page and group. We have such a wonderful time there, and we do encourage people to come and join the YouTube channel so that way you can
Absolutely.
actually watch us doing this. So
Yeah,
we really
and see
and
Pikachu.
see Pikachu. So there's a lot of things that you can do to join in with us. But thank you very much every single week for everybody coming back time and time again to listen to our podcast. We are really humbled and very excited that you guys in that.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
other than that, we are incredibly proud and excited that Kat won her award.
And if you'd like to celebrate, feel free to shout me a coffee.
There you go. That is a perfect opportunity to shout Kat a coffee.
Yep, there is a PayPal me link everywhere, so you can either email us and we'll send it to you at
Perpetual Motion Squad 00 at gmail.com.
awesome, or it's also in the show notes for the video and on Spotify or wherever you're
Hmm.
listening to podcasts.
Yep.
It's also a link in the about section of the Facebook page and group.
Yep. And if you don't want to email us, but you still want to be part of the conversation and you're on Spotify, just drop something in the comment
Yep,
section. It shows up there and I can read that as well. So
yep. But
it's
I'd
all
love to
good.
have a celebration coffee with you.
There you go. So if anybody wants to celebrate with Kat and send her a coffee, go ahead.
There we go. Okay, so thank you everybody for being with us today. Um, and if you haven't done so already, please leave us a like and a review wherever you listen to podcasts because that does help other people find us.
Yep.
Feel free to invite anyone you know who loves the Big Bang Theory to join the conversation because the more the merrier.
Hmm.
And we can't wait to see you next time for another favorite episode, the Cooper-Nowitzki theorem,
Here we go.
where Ramona Nowitzki shows up.
Yep.
And in the meantime, we'll catch up with everyone at the Cheesecake Factory.
Bye, everyone.